Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is 5:30, and that is our appointed hour, so we will get our meeting started. It's good to see all of you this evening. It is always nice to have people involved in the decisions and the actions of local government, and so I appreciate you coming out this afternoon. We will have public comment that you will see on the agenda, and I know that many of you did want to speak regarding the mask mandate, and so what we'll do, because that item actually comes later in our agenda, we'll hold your public comment until we get to that spot on the agenda, and then I'll call for you to speak, and everyone will have the opportunity to speak. So I didn't want you to think that we were overlooking that. We do have a couple of folks that have asked if they could address the council that relate to different items. So we'll call on them at the beginning of the meeting, and then the mask mandate, a potential mask mandate, we'll call on you as we get to that point on the agenda. But we are called to order, and I'd like to start the meeting by calling on Pastor Matt from the road. Pastor Matt, if you will come to the podium, Pastor Matt's going to give us our invocation, and then immediately following that, I'll turn things over to Vice Mayor Wes Ellers, who will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. So thank you, Pastor Matt.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. Let's pray. Father, our Heavenly Father, you are a great and mighty and awesome God. Lord, your faithfulness and your steadfast love are higher than the heavens, and so we thank you. Father, we would ask you this afternoon on behalf of all who are suffering because of the coronavirus that you'd be with them. Lord, bless the families and be with them who have lost loved ones, Lord, or who are sick now, or who have lost jobs or income. Father, we ask you to give the doctors and all the professionals wisdom to know how to lead us through these times. Father, we thank you this evening for this gathering, for this council meeting. And Lord, we just want to ask on behalf of our leadership, we thank you for them. Lord, I ask for each one of them that you would bless them and their families. Father, I pray that you'd give them wisdom that comes from you and the leadership that's been stewarded to them, Father. And Lord, I just want to ask now for peace and prosperity for our city, our town, this area. Father, most of all, I ask for the peace and the prosperity that comes from knowing you in your Son Jesus, in whose name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Matt, and thank you, Wes. I appreciate that very much. Council, you have before you an agenda, and again, I'll remind our public that we have agendas here on the podium if you'd like to grab one and follow along with us. So at this point, I will take a motion to approve that agenda as submitted, unless you have any changes.
So moved.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Also, we have the minutes that Jessica has emailed out to us. Those are in your packet, so you've had a chance to review those. If there are any changes to be made, we can address that now, or we'll take a motion to accept those minutes as they were presented.
So moved.
Accept as presented? Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. And there were a couple of a couple of meetings that we have minutes for that are in your packet. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Mayor, I
Again,
might add, we might want to remind everyone, within public buildings as of today, masks are required, period. So as we look around, be sure that everyone has a mask on.
Okay, thank you,
I
Jack.
have a breathing condition. I have asthma. I'll put it on as much as I possibly can.
Okay,
Thank you, Al.
Thank you. All right, again, if you want to address the council on the masks, potential mask mandate, we'll call on you shortly. But if you want to address the council, I know we have a guest with us this evening. Mr. Broadwater has a really interesting program. So I'll call on you first, Mr. Broadwater, to come and make the presentation for the program that you'd like to share with us. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Nah, well, yeah, yes, sir. Thank you. You might want to stand a couple of feet, just a much, there you go, there you go. Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council, Mr. City Manager, City Attorney. My name is Marvin Broadwater Sr. I reside at 3004 Slippery Rock Court, Columbus, Georgia. I'm here with one of your residents, Mr. Reginald Phillips, and we are members of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We're here this evening to solicit your attendance and assistance with informing your constituents of a fatherhood program. It's called the Fatherhood Conversation event on January 23rd, 2021 from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. As this is a virtual Zoom meeting and will be live streamed on Zoom, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter platforms. I served as the immediate past state representative of Georgia State Organization of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. And we are an organization that believes in community outreach and involvement, as we are all servant leaders. I have observed a vicious cycle for many of our fathers in this great state as it relates to child support. For this reason, the Georgia State Organization and Omega Psi Phi has partnered with the Georgia Department of Human Services Fatherhood Program to conduct fatherhood conversations around this great state of Georgia. Those fathers who are unaware of the services and benefits this program affords will have a chance to engage the subject matter experts. The goals of the fatherhood conversation are to inform the community of the numerous services offered to the non-custodial parent, especially fathers, and to dispel any misconceptions of the DHS fatherhood program. Topics to be discussed, but not limited to, are driver's license reinstatement, child support services, GED enrollment, job training, job search, as well as job placement, other volunteer work opportunities. One of the most important areas will be discussed is support order modification. We believe all challenging issues facing our governing and policy-making bodies are interrelated. Crime, economy, homelessness, unemployment, domestic violence, child abuse, neglect, drug use, prison population, poverty, and a plethora of other challenging community concerns. If we dim the radiance on one issue, we consequently decrease the radiance on another simultaneously. Fathers who find themselves in child support arrears will benefit tremendously from this program. The plan is to blanket the city and inform all citizens of this program, the form and its benefit. I hope to see you on the call. Thank you again for your time, but more importantly, thank you for your servant leadership, because where you sit, your job is not easy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Broadwater, and thank you for your service and for bringing this very important program to our attention. Anything that we as a community can do to help our families and to sustain our families and provide those resources is top-notch in my book.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to introduce you to Tony McBrayer. He is our incoming County Commission Chairman. He's standing back here against the wall. And so once we get through the holidays, what we can do is get with our friends at the county, because the county also offers many services.
Right.
And Tony, I think this would be a great opportunity for the city and the county to work together for our citizens to provide these resources.
Well, thanks to your city manager. I saw the email today, but I hadn't really looked at it well, but I will make an appearance at the county commissioner as well, because this is an outstanding program. Tifton, unfortunately, was identified as one of the cities that actually need it. So I'm here to help.
Wonderful. And we'll get with you. We have just a ton of resources with regard to social media and a government TV channel and various resources that we can offer to you to get the word out to the community. So we'll be reaching out and working together, and very much appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much. I do want to let everyone know that Councilman Terrell is on our phone. He could not be here this evening. His wife, Diane, has had some surgery recently, so he felt it would be best if he stayed home with her. So, Johnny, can you hear us okay? I just don't want to leave you out. Can you hear us? Okay, all right. So we'll have to speak up a little bit because we're a ways away from the speakerphone. So as you're speaking, if you could just remember to speak up just a little bit. All right, I'm going to call on Bruce Green, who is our Urban Redevelopment Agency Director, to make a presentation concerning the work of our Urban Redevelopment Organization.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and to the council and our distinguished guests as well. I'm going to take about 5 minutes in our due diligence to the city of creating an urban redevelopment agency. We are tasked with, at the end of each year, giving a brief summary of our activities. I think you have a copy of all the achievements that we have managed to do, and in just 12 short months, 2 of those where we were all in lockdown, I think we've been very successful. The Reverend Matt talked about prosperity, and I think that's one of the things we'll see in this very brief presentation is we are blessed to have an emergence of prosperity really come into the community. And over the next 6 months, when construction starts on several of these projects, I think everyone in this community will take pride, and clearly and certainly in the whole South Tifton area where this has been focused. And thank you, Madam Mayor, for 3 years ago bringing the attention to everyone that this was a part of our city that really needed to have specific resources made available and to gather all of us together. And it really is amazing at how many people have been involved in this. And I want to say a special thank you to this mayor and council, to the attorney, to the clerk, to the staff, to everyone from our waste system, and you'll see at the very end of this why I bring that up. But we are just blessed to have a team that's working on this. So very quickly, I'm going to show you some. This is the quick geographic snapshot of the area that the city decided to spend effort and time and money on to see if we could change some direction there. And I think it's really phenomenal. I'll go very quickly. One of the big geographic areas that we talked about was the 12-acre site of the former Captain's Point Mobile Home Park. We have worked diligently, even through COVID and after the shutdown, to relocate about 15 families. We have 3 left, 3 people, 3 families that own their own mobile home. But they will not be allowed to stay because we're going to do redevelopment there. But I had planned to have a couple of our citizen residents come before you and really give you a personal testimony about how thankful they are and how appreciative they have been and how very diligent and very careful we have been to relocate them. Because you got to remember, we picked them up and moved them in the middle of a pandemic. And so I can pretty well assure you that they are all very pleased with where they currently are, and we have 3 more to go. Those are, for particular reasons, they are a little bit complex than the others were, but we will get that. So this area, the Captain's Point area, was very specific, and if you see on your screens, and the audience can see here, the big red circle, that is the easternmost section of the 12 acres. That is fronted on the eastern side by South Park Avenue. That's where we are down to now. After tomorrow, we'll be down to just literally a handful of mobile homes. 2 are intestate. The owners passed away since the city bought the property, so our city attorney is working with us on going through the quite lengthy due diligence that's necessary to make sure that that estate is handled correctly and that the heirs and the assigns to that property will be treated fairly and can be engaged in that process. In the middle of that, you see that green kind of trapezoid. That is where we found out most recently, after a year of hard work, that the city of Tifton was awarded $11.9 million for a new housing development. And we are just super excited. And the city manager and myself and several of the staff have met with IDP out of Valdosta They're the development corporation that's quite capable of doing this, and we absolutely chose the right team from our RFP process that Jessica helped initiate. And to the left of that on your screen is the Community Development Block Grant. That is where the $750,000 was just awarded to the City of Tifton from the Department of Community Affairs to build a new youth activity center. And we have formed an advisory group that met here in this room about 2 weeks ago, and they, from the community, representing all aspects of the community, are super excited. We, of course, hope to engage the YMCA and the Regional Technical College as well insofar as adult literacy. There are a number of things that this site, and you can see there the contiguousness of how these things integrate and fit together. And if you look in the bottom of the photograph, that's Matt Wilson School. So you basically walk out the front door of Matt Wilson, and to your front and to the right will be this huge development as it unfolds. That's actually an earlier shot of the land. There were 2 parcels that the Tift County Board of Education purchased, and they have subsequently negotiated with the city to transfer that property with deed to us to build this new facility upon. And if this will work, Jonathan, I might call on you. So you're standing in the middle of 17th Street looking north to this particular parcel of property. And Jonathan's pulling this up because I want to give you and then you will walk into the middle of it and you'll get a 360 in just a second. So everyone understands where this new community activity center, youth activity center will go. And again, this is the 360 view that you will have from the building, basically, or the campus of this facility. That's 17th Street. That is the $11.9 million development will happen right there along that tree line going back to the east. We're going to try to retain that building because it's solid. That's Old Omega looking straight through, and now you're turning back around to the west. And if you go due west from there, Tennyson Nissan is back behind those trees over there. So you get an idea of the lot where this is going. It'll fit beautifully into that community. Okay. And so again, that's kind of a bird's eye view of where it will fit. And you can see how integral it is to that whole South Tifton area. This is a schematic that the architectural firm of McCall and Associates out of Valdosta, they're working with us. This is the first preliminary layout of how the building will fit upon the land. And it's not like we have 40 acres to build this thing on. We have basically an acre of land. But it is in a perfect place for it to work. And so this is what all of us together as a community can work towards. And the placement upon the building might end up being a little bit different than what you see in this schematic, but it certainly gives you an idea of how it will work. And that's, again, a schematic of the interior showing adult literacy space, an activity multipurpose room with computer rooms. We have been working and talking with the Tift County Public Library. They're super excited about the services that they can help provide to the youth in this neighborhood. And again, I just think we're so blessed. Tons of hard work. And the city will put along with the $750, about $150, so we're looking at about a $900,000 investment. And again, that just shows you an area coming up and looking down on it. This is kind of a schematic of what they're proposing. Actually, they will not have the open-air hallways. They will be enclosed. That is the actual schematic that IDP, sent to the Department of Community Affairs when they received the recognition of the award. And this is kind of what the exterior would look like. Again, playing off of, if you look across Tifton, there's a lot of kind of brackets and beams and arts and craft architecture that we have in this town, and I think this firm can really produce something for us that everyone can be proud of, and certainly the people who live there can be very proud of it. Now, I bring this in because what's happening if you drive down there, you say, well, there's still some abandoned mobile homes. Well, our new community improvement director was down there last week. Along previously, we had our chairman of our board, Vivian, we were marking these. Well, let's see if I can pull this up. Okay. So what you're watching is at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And you cannot believe the people that drove by and honked their horns and waved and kind of told us, you know, with thumbs up. So I know our city manager, I told him he couldn't see this until tonight, but we've waited on this. And I'll make this very quick because we were trying to keep this meeting short, but the city attorney will look at me and assure you, you cannot believe the due diligence that we have to do and the amount of paperwork that we have to do before that can happen right there. So we have 7 of them, 8 actually scheduled to come out between this afternoon, unless they're down there working tonight, and tomorrow. So you will see a tremendous difference, and we will literally be down to a handful. And that handful, again, part of those are intestate and part, we just have to do our due diligence to make sure that we have clear title to them before we can either do one thing, we can relocate them, or demolish them. So I wanted to share that with you and end with this. There are more exciting things to come. So thank you to this mayor and council, to the staff. We couldn't achieve this, we as the Urban Redevelopment Agency, without the tremendous support that we've had. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Any questions?
Recognize your chair, Vivian Hightower. She chairs our Urban Redevelopment Agency, and she's a hardworking woman, and we appreciate all the work. And I know Abby serves on the board, several.
She absolutely does.
7 or 8 or 10 folks that serve on that board, and MJ's on the board,
Yeah.
and so we're just very appreciative to the work that you're doing and Bruce, your leadership, and this is really exciting. Like you said, it's been a long time in the works, but good things come to those who wait. So does anyone have any questions of Bruce or any of the projects that are taking place?
And
Who would
just,
have ever thought 3 years ago we would be talking about $12 million worth of investment in the area of Mount Wilson School?
13, including our youth
13
center.
million.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's amazing. So, and the community is the beneficiary of that, so we're very
Yes.
thankful and very proud of that. So thank you, Bruce, for all the work that
Well,
you
thanks
do.
to everybody for this, and we're just super proud for the city of Tifton.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, the next items on our agenda are our consent agenda. And we always have, at the beginning of each month, we have a workshop meeting where we discuss all of the items that are on our agenda for this evening. So these items that are on the consent agenda have been discussed in our workshop, and we may ask staff to come back and provide us with more information or continue to have ongoing discussions amongst ourselves. But we have discussed these, so it looks sometimes like we're just jumping through and approving or not approving certain things, but do know that through the workshop process, we have discussed all of these items on the consent agenda. So that being said, we can take all of these and approve them together, or if any of the council members would like to separate anything out and discuss them individually.
I would like to take number 5 individually.
Okay. The resolution for Harvey's?
Yes.
Okay.
Due to its announcement that it would be closing, is that correct?
I have not heard that.
There's a sign on the front window that says this store's closing January 10th.
Right.
Now, Food Line bought those stores, but it doesn't, it just says this store's closing January 10th. I took that to mean that the store's closing, not that it's gonna,
Right.
Harvey's is gonna have that location until the end of January, and then Food Line, will take over at that time.
Okay.
So
So
I'm
they are
not
gonna-
sure if the actual, since I've been here, that property has changed hands 3 times, but they've always kept Harvey's, but, I'm unsure if they're gonna continue to be Harvey's.
well, it was Food Line before it was Harvey's.
So their current
So-
alcohol license runs through the end of December? Or?
Yes, so this will be putting the new manager on there, and it'll only last them for 1 month, but we have to do that, or they'll have to remove the alcohol, so.
Do we prorate being that or do they pay for the entire year?
They do.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to continue to keep
Yeah.
that separate
No,
for?
that was my only question.
Okay.
I move we approve them all.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve all items on the consent agenda, including item number 5. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Under new business, Pete, do you want to talk about the extension of hazardous pay through April 30th? I know we have that through the end of the year, but you want to extend that.
If you remember back in September, we talked about this providing for fire and police because of their interaction with COVID. I really, back in September, I said, well, this is probably going to be over by December. And here I am saying it's time to probably extend this. And I'm sure both the chiefs will agree with me. That is the right thing to do. The funding is coming from COVID dollars, so we are covered, but I'm recommending that we continue the hazardous pay until April 31st, and it on or before April. So if we're still in it in April, then I'll be back before you.
I move we accept Pete's
Okay,
recommendation.
thank you, Jack. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. The next item is a consideration for a request for de-annexation of property located at 3302 US Highway 82 West, and that's submitted by Duck LLC. We did have a public hearing about that. I don't know, Rob, is there any update of any information concerning what we discussed at the public hearing?
No, Mayor.
Okay, I'll remind council, we have never de-annexed property. This is a first. It is my understanding as well that staff has been working with the property owner to try to come up with some resolution, and we've heard from Danny and that department on some options to accommodate the request of the property owner with regard to what he wants to do with signage and that kind of thing. So if there is anyone who'd like to make a motion concerning that, then we'll take that motion.
You want to hear from the LOC's representative, see if there is any update? Okay.
It's up to the council, if the council wants to.
If there's any new information.
Is there any new information that you'd like to tell us? Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I will take a motion to, concerning the requested de-annexation.
You don't have to have a motion, do we? If there's no motion, then it just stays as is, right? Or do we have to do a motion?
Well, if there's nobody
take no
that makes a
action.
motion, then it's just gonna die for lack of a motion.
Okay. Okay. One more chance. Is there a motion concerning the de-annexation? There being no motion, there is no motion. So the property is not de-annexed. Is that a correct statement? Have I stated
That's
that
right.
correctly? Okay. Just want to make sure for the record I've stated that properly. Okay.
Is that considered a no vote or a vote?
It's a no vote.
It's a no vote, okay. All right.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is regarding resolution, and Pete, that's for a sanitation franchise fee for roll-off service.
Yeah, just as a recap, Council, that we talked, one of the items that we cleaned up, next you'll be talking about the ordinance, but the sanitation franchise fee for roll-off services, if you remember, that is not considered exclusive, so that would be open market. And what we are proposing via this resolution that that we identify the residential and commercial solid waste hauler, and that second, we actually, if anyone wants to seek, that want to do roll-off services within Tifton, that they apply for the permit and pay the required franchise fee of $2,500 per year to operate within the city. And again, that's normal. It's something that that has been written in, but we've never instituted because of our past agreements. But I think this is the right thing to do. It's fair and it's equitable for all those that want to provide that type of service. Then roll-off are the long rectangular containers that you see in construction or sometimes at homes.
Okay.
Can I ask a technical question? Would we need to modify the ordinance to add that, or our resolution, see, my understanding is the resolution is not all, is that right?
The ordinance, we have, that's next on the agenda, and that has been amended.
So you're saying the ordinance is chapter 66 is what you're talking about?
The resolution outlines what we're proposing, again, identifying the haulers, the franchise for the roll-off, and then the fees. So the resolution sets that up, the ordinance
Okay, I see.
makes it legal.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
You have what you need? Okay. Are there any other questions?
You gotta turn the page over.
It is continued. Okay, all right, if anyone would like to make a motion concerning amending that code of ordinances, we'll take that.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Wes. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Oh.
Okay.
On that, Pete, did you ever find out about the one that's at those apartments there on 28th? You know, it's been sitting out there. I think we talked about it.
Open top, is Ricky here?
They're remodeling.
They all remodeled?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I see they finally did put the garbage one out, which had not been there, so,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, so I did check it for household waste, but they're doing, and it should be, I don't know if they're done or what, but there's very distinctive what they could throw away.
Okay, all right. Johnny, you still there? Can you still hear us okay?
Johnny, did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
What you doing, Jess? Okay. We're gonna try to move the phone, Johnny, so you can be a little closer to us.
Solid waste
Okay,
ordinance and the rollout.
Okay.
For sanitation purposes.
okay.
Now you can hear.
Now, can you hear us a little bit better? We moved the phone closer.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. We are at item number 12 on our agenda, and that is for the discussion of the ordinance requiring the use of masks for face coverings in public. And I did mention that for those of you that would like to address the council concerning that, we would call on you at this point in time. Yes?
Mayor, excuse us real quick. So, I know we voted on the resolution. I don't know if the vote
We
was
did
for
the
the
ordinance.
Oh, I'm
ordinance.
sorry.
Did you turn the page over?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, we did vote on the resolution, so item number 11 is the ordinance. Thank you for catching that. So that being said, I'll call on someone to make a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Jack. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Wes. All right, now that we're back on track, is there any further discussion for the ordinance? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, now we're at the discussion concerning the potential mask ordinance, and we'll be calling on the public to make public comment. We do ask that you limit your comment to 3 minutes, if you don't mind, so that we can have time for everyone to be able to address the council and say what you'd like to say. Jessica, as our city clerk, will be our timekeeper, and most of the time people are very, you can kind of say what you need to say, and people are very respectful of that. So, but before we call on public comments, I'd like to call on our city attorney to explain to the community why we are back here rediscussing this proposed ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, as you recall, last Monday night, there was a draft of an ordinance for y'all's consideration. And when that ordinance came before council, there was, a good bit of discussion, and the city council took action on that item. According to our city code of ordinances, you can pass an ordinance upon its first reading. However, according to the charter, it says that you cannot pass an ordinance the same time that it's introduced. So it appears that the code and the charter are somewhat in conflict. But because the charter says that you cannot pass an ordinance on the same day that it's introduced, that basically means that when you discussed it Monday night, it was going to have to be discussed and acted on another day. So that's basically what brings us back today. The charter does require that it can't be passed on the same day. Therefore, it's got to be, considered and acted upon on another day. So this is the other day. I apologize, for any confusion this may have caused. We are here on basically what would be a second reading, what we would have had to do anyway, but I think it did cause some confusion out there in the community, and for that I apologize.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Rob. All right, I have, 4 individuals who have signed up to speak. I will call on you in this order. If there's anyone else who does want to speak, you're certainly welcome to sign in very quickly. We can pass the sheet back out. We'll be calling on Lonnie Lewis, Devin Crosby, Justin Golden, and Hal Baxley. As you come to the podium, Lonnie, if you will, if you'll state your name and your address just for the record, and then Jessica will start the timer.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. My name is Lannis Lewis. I live at 2618 Diana Circle, Tifton. I'm here to speak against the mask ordinance. Not that I'm against wearing a mask, because I wore one. But I come to you with, although I'm retired, I come to you with 40 years of experience in healthcare. And that includes clinical laboratory science, and as a physician assistant. I have 2 bachelor's degrees from the Medical College of Georgia, one in medical technology, and the other as a physician assistant. My opinion is based on my knowledge and understanding of health science, especially when it comes to the subjects of virology or immunology, the study of viruses, and the study of our body's response to those diseases. I know several folks and family members that have had COVID already. Some of them are my age. All have survived so far, thank God. But I'm also aware that many have died from this disease. I hope I don't catch COVID. And I'm eagerly awaiting the vaccine as soon as it's available. There are 4 major CDC recommendations to mitigate or slow this disease. Most of us are aware of them, but I'll read them. Physical distance, sanitize your hands and surfaces as much as possible, avoid touching your face, and yes, wear a mask. The spread of COVID will continue until herd immunity occurs, or until 70% of us are vaccinated. So it's not going away anytime soon. The people and businesses in the area and around the state and the nation for that matter are already aware and follow the guidelines that the CDC has laid out. The issue I have with this ordinance is you want to single out one of the recommendations and make it a crime. Secondly, there's no language in this ordinance as to when the ordinance will expire once the pandemic is over. Therefore, I would respectfully ask the members of this council to vote against this unjustified, unenforceable proposal. Thank you.
All right, Devin Crosby would like to come to the podium.
My name is Devin Crosby. I live at 803 40th Street here in Tifton. I'd like to start by thanking y'all for the opportunity to come up here and speak. I've taken it upon myself to do my own research, and I've compiled a list of data from websites such as the CDC and census.gov. According to the data I have found, the infection rate for the COVID-19 in Tift County is beneath 8%, and the death rate for those cases is beneath 2% of those who have contracted it. I don't want to talk about numbers, for it seems that that is all we've ever heard. I'd like to present the following idea. For years, the citizens of China have worn masks because of the heavy air pollution. So why were the citizens of China, for years the citizens of China have worn masks because of the heavy air pollution. So why were the infection rates so high in China if masks supposedly limit the transmission? I'm not here to condemn those who choose to wear a mask. I'm here to uphold the freedom of being able to make the choice of what is best for my own health. With this bit of information, I encourage everyone to do their own research. My main reason for being here tonight is to advocate for those who do not want to wear a mask, for those who want to keep their health freedoms intact. If it starts with the governing body telling us to wear a mask, stealing yet another freedom to decide what is best for our own health, then what is next? Will you tell us that we can't Celebrate Christmas, or will you tell us that we can't gather in a place of worship? Why do we have to conform, and why do we have to comply? The plain and simple fact is that we do not have to. It was written 244 years ago when our forefathers declared independence from a tyrannical government. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equally, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If we are told that we must wear a mask against our own free will, then what makes you any different than the previous tyrants? If we are told that we must wear a mask, then we have lost part of our liberty. If we're told we have to wear a mask, then we have lost part of our ability to pursue happiness. To be clear, that is two of the three unalienable rights listed in the first few sentences of the Declaration of Independence. Winston Churchill once said, "If you have 1,000 regulations, you destroy all respect for the law." So tell me, why would you entertain the thought of passing another mandate that would further strain the fragile relationship that we maintain between elected representatives and those that gave you such an honorable position? So I will conclude this by saying that I support your right to make a choice following what is best for your own health. And I'm here to tell you that this is not government's position to tell me, or anyone else for that fact, what is best for their own health. And I will not conform or comply with any such ordinances, mandates that would be created to directly infringe upon my rights as an American citizen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Devin. Justin Golden?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Justin Golden. I reside at 2019 Lee Avenue, and I'm a small business owner in this town, as well as my wife. We are both business owners, her as a florist downtown, me as a restaurant. I'm originally from Thomasville and moved here to Tifton with high expectations for Tifton, and we really love this city and how it's embraced me and my family. However, I do not think it is fair for a city council to be able to decide whether or not businesses should make the public notice whether or not they put up a mandate in their window. It is not fair to us. Us placing a piece of paper in our window saying we do not comply makes a large majority of customers not shop at our business. Not placing a piece of paper in the window saying that we do comply makes a large majority of people not support our businesses. You have to pick one, and that's not fair to businesses. This is not y'all's job to enforce this. It should be the governor. If the governor puts a mandate down, I think that would be appropriate for local city governments to decide on, not for Tifton. Our business has done very well, but seeing things on social media like the hashtag boycott Tifton bothered me and kept me up all night that night. This is a great city, it's a friendly city, and we deserve to have our businesses supported even through a pandemic and not regulated by you guys who sit at home or have a regular job and are not entrepreneurs. It is tough, and it is very serious to us, and it's our livelihood. And the people that work for me and my wife, it's their livelihood and their families. And this week alone, my sales have dropped. Thank you, and I hope that you reconsider your decision on voting for the mandate.
Thank you, Justin. Hal Baxley?
My name's Hal Baxley, and I live at 73 Eagle Drive, Tifton, Georgia. I'm here tonight to oppose the mandate for masks. And one of the reasons, there'll be several, but one of the reasons is masks don't work. If you believe that, go to the CDC. The CDC says that 85%, you can look this up, 85% of the people that have contracted coronavirus, 85% said they either wore masks all the time or most of the time. So it doesn't work. And if you believe that it does, then take a look at Florida. Florida has no mandate for masks, but Texas does. Texas has a lot more infections than Florida does with a comparable population. So does the same thing go for New York, the same thing. So I don't think you're going to find anywhere where you can show that masks mitigate or take away any type of threat to the disease. It's just not going to happen. If you're going to do that, the reason that the mask may work would be to prevent particles from going in your nose or in your respiratory system or in your bloodstream. Well, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to cover your ears and your eyes. And, you know, we can't walk around like mummies. So the fact of the matter is that masks don't work. To begin with, Dr. Fauci, the CDC, the health department, everyone said, don't wear a mask. They're bad. So it took them 3 months to finally decide, oh, well, that's right, they may work. So we'll let you wear that. The fact of it is, it's just like the man that's got the degrees and he knows about infectious stuff. We're not going to get rid of this until we have herd immunity. Herd immunity comes from us developing immunities with one another by contact with one another. 90% of the people that get, over 90% of the people that are infected with coronavirus have little or no symptoms. None. We've shut down our schools, not here, but in places they've shut down schools where it is less than 0.2% of infection rate from children. So, I mean, that doesn't make any sense either. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense about this virus. How it's spread, we don't know. We don't know that. So there's no reason to make a mandate. First of all, that won't work. Just like I said, I have asthma. I don't have to wear a mask. So what are you going to do? You can't ask anyone what the disease is that they have because that violates HIPAA law. What are you going to do if a police officer goes to someone and says, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a ticket if you don't put that on? So they get into an argument. So what does the police officer do? Is he going to have to, put him under arrest? And if the guy resists, then what happens? The police officer has endangered himself to try to enforce something that he can't enforce to begin with. This is unconstitutional. And you cannot, the Constitution says you cannot control my freedom of movement. Not without a warrant, not without probable cause, of which you don't have any and you can't prove it. So that's the reason I'm saying I'm against it, and I hope you vote against it or let it die, whatever. But anyway, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Hal. I do want to give everyone the opportunity to speak. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Yes, ma'am. And just a reminder, if you'll just put just state your name and address, so we can enter that into the record.
I will, Mayor. My name is Andrea Roberson Carter, and I reside in Doherty County, and I'm not in Tiff County. And as you all may know, it hit our county a lot sooner and a lot quicker than it did over here. And in Doherty County, they did mandate a mask requirement over there. And I'm just going to be, and I've listened to all these comments, and I'm just going to break it down. It just comes down to some good old common sense. If not for yourself, do it for other citizens in the community. I don't have health ailments, but I have older parents. I have older grandparents. I have kids who have asthma, brothers, sisters who have asthma. If you don't want to do it for you, do it for other people. Don't wear the mask all the time, but if you have to go into a public place where there are other people at, it's just common courtesy. Put it on for those people. I work in a public place where I have been for 21 years. I don't want to wear a mask. I don't. But for the common courtesy of the general public that come in every day, I put the mask on. When I get in my automobile, I take the mask off and I go, oh, good God Almighty, I get to take this friggin' thing off. But for the health and the common courtesy of the other American people that I don't want to get the coronavirus. I don't want the coronavirus. I want you to make money, sir. And I hate your business is affected. And I want everybody to have the right to choose. Because as Americans, that is our freedom. We have the right to choose. But in the same sense, I don't want to affect it. You could have corona right now. I've watched every one of you come up here and lean on this podium. I don't know, you don't have corona. You don't know he didn't have corona. You all could have gotten the corona in less than 3 minutes and walk out of here and give it to somebody else. I watched every one of you touch this podium. And you can't say you didn't because I seen you do it. And the gentleman that does have the degree in medical said, you can't just wear a mask. It comes from not touching something. It comes from disinfecting. But every one of you touched this podium. So every one of you could have every one of you just could have contracted corona. Right? And you can go out there, right, but you can go out there now and disinfect.
Ma'am, if you'll address
I'm sorry,
your
but
comments
every
to
one of you
council, please.
can go out there and disinfect, but you didn't think about it at the time. And that's what I'm saying. As human error is possible. We could have all of them could have just contracted just that easy, because we don't think about it. So it's just come down to some good old common sense. That's it. If not for yourself, do it for your fellow man.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Oh, we've got, okay.
My name is Faye Lowe. I live at 527 Boeing Road. And what you said is right. You do touch things, but we got to go back to the common sense. You got to wash your hands before you eat or before you touch your face. Now, here's the thing. All of y'all do not own your own businesses. So there's a lot of difference. And you sitting up there, Wes, you work at the bank, you're going to get a check every week. Julie, you sell real estate, and everything else. So you got to think about us people who owns our own businesses. I am man-made. I'm not, I have not inherited any money, and I'm man-made, and I know how to take care of my own self. I don't need y'all telling us how to do it. I wash my hands before I eat. I take care of my 3-year-old grandson every day, and none of us has been sick, and if we do, we'll deal with it. And it's easy for you to sit back and say when you don't own your own business, and you depend on that business, your family depends on that business. And so I am totally against the mask, totally.
Okay, thank you. I saw another hand. Yes, sir.
My name's J.D. Crosby. I live at 803 40th Street in Tifton. Been there 32 years. I use common sense. I wear a mask because I'm 76 years old when I need to. I think it's my choice. Now, as this lady talked about everybody walking up here and touching this podium, that's true. That's one reason the mask does not work. I've watched this room. 75% of the people in this room have touched their mask tonight. So you mandating something that we're going to contact from going in a grocery store or wherever we go, we're going to touch our face, our mask, when we take it off and put it back on, we're going to get infected by touching. Okay?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Kirsten passing out the hand sanitizer. I didn't want you to think I was laughing at you. I was getting to her passing that out.
So hand sanitizer, I guess, works. I have a job that I have to drive. Okay, now use sanitizer. But as far as the mask goes, we're infecting ourselves with masks. Because I've touched mine about 5 times since I've been here. So that's why I say mask does not work. It does not work. Because everywhere we go, in and out of the car, a door, whatever you pick up at the grocery store, or anywhere else has been touched by hands, okay? They don't have gloves on. So that's why I say mask does not work, okay? That's what I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Crosby. I'm sorry? Sure. Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Vivian Hightower. I live at 510 West 11th Street, and I'm a part of the URA. I just have one question, because I'm for the mask ordinance. I don't care. I'm going to wear mine whether you pass it or not. I'm going to wear mine for the safety of me. But my only concern is there is a lot of homeless people that's surfacing, and I see them all day long over where I live at. What are we going to do about them if you're going to mandate a mask requirement? Because I see them sleeping at the flash food or sleeping at the old time. I see them sleeping all up and down 82 in those chairs. So if we're going to mandate, what are we going to do about them? I'm not concerned about me because I'm going to wear mine.
Right.
But mine is, you got those people out there that don't have anywhere to go, and they're not wearing a mask. And they're sleeping from place to place. So what are we gonna do with them? That's the only question I had to ask.
Okay, thank you, Vivian.
They're also peeing on our businesses, buildings.
Let me, again, I don't live here, but I'm gonna tell you two things. My name is Marvin Broadwater. I have a master's in healthcare management. I'm a retired hospital administrator. I watch CNN all day. I listen to CNN all day. I do a whole lot of research. You're right, and I fought for this country and got wounded, shot 3 times for everybody's right in here to wear or not wear a mask. But let me give you a little history. My mother died November 17th, 2020, from corona. And I'm gonna give you some numbers. Japan. You wanna know about numbers? Japan. 1,500 folks dead from coronavirus. But the difference, America. I think the number is over 300,000, 350. No mandate. Japan had a mandate starting in April. All I ask y'all to do, I don't even live here, but you're all Americans. So I fought for you. What I'm telling you is, this is serious. Masks work, whether you believe it or not. And the only thing I say to you is, think about your grandkids. Think about your grandkids when you go home. Those of you that are taking care of your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt. Think about them. It's not about you. It's got to be about somebody else. My mother, she got it from another family member because the family member wouldn't wear a mask. I'm gone. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Broadwater, and thank you for your service, too. Is there anyone else who would like to speak before we open up the floor for council discussion? Yes, sir.
I know I spoke earlier, but I wanted to say one more thing. I wasn't talking tonight about whether masks work or masks don't work. I was speaking on your job as a city council. And it's your job to decide whether or not we have a mask mandate. Because I'll wear a mask. I'll gladly wear a mask in any store that wants me to wear a mask. I go in the grocery store, even if it doesn't have a sign, I wear a mask. I don't want the confrontation from anyone else, whether I believe it works or not. I can follow the rules, but I do ask that you guys, as a city council and as a city of Tifton, educate more, maybe have a live video every week with a healthcare professional on your Facebook. Educate our town, but don't decide whether or not we have to have a mask mandate and make us decide which side of customers are allowed in our businesses.
Okay, thank you, Justin. All right, I'm going to open up the floor for discussion from the council. I'd like to make a few comments just to say a few words before we get started, if you'll indulge me in that. When we put the word out last week that we had a little snafu on procedure and protocol, and we approved an ordinance that was not in concert with what our city charter says we are to do. And our city charter is the most important document that we abide by. It is, if you've not read it, it's on the city website. You're certainly welcome to go and pull that up. It goes into great detail about our roles as city council representatives, the role of the management, how we create ordinances, how we govern. And it's very important that we follow that city charter and that we be transparent to you, the public, if we err. And we made a mistake, and we moved forward with something. So when that announcement went out, there was a little link and an email that you could send comments into the council, much like you've addressed us this evening. And I just want to say thank you, first of all, to all of those people who took the time, and Pete, there were about 50 or 60 people roughly who took the time to email comments, some for, some against, but I just wanted to thank you for that. The other thing that we noticed, because Pete shared those comments with all of us prior to the meeting so that we could consider that, the other thing that I want to say is 99% of you, whether you were for or against, were so kind to this council to say thank you for your service. And we recognize and appreciate that. The best government, in my opinion, is local government. It's the government closest to the people. I can't pick up the phone and call the president. I can't pick up the phone and call the governor. I can't pick up the phone and call many of those in state and federal politics. But you can pick up the phone and reach one of us. You can leave a voicemail or a text message and we'll get back with you. And so whether you agree or disagree, it's local governance that is happening right now, and you are all a part of it. So I appreciate you all taking time to come out this evening to share your thoughts and to let us know how you feel about this. And many of you, like I said, have emailed us individually, called us individually, and we appreciate that greatly. I think that we need to, as a council, decide what is best for our community. There is so much that's driving this country apart right now. Whether you buy into voter fraud, whether you buy into civil unrest, whether you buy into the runoff elections, there's so much that divides us. And Justin, you said it, so Tifton is a great community. We need to unify. We need to stand together so that this community is the best that it can be. And for those of you who challenge us daily and who send us text messages, and thank you for that. It keeps us on our toes. It lets us know how you feel. I know, we all know, we're not going to please all of the people all of the time. There's got to be a decision, a yes decision and a no decision, and there's always someone on either side of that balance that's maybe not going to be happy with what we do. But I do want you, the public, to know that this council, and Mr. Terrell is on the phone, so he's included in this as well, takes into great consideration the facts, the information, what you want us to do as we govern this community. So do we always agree? Not always. But I can tell you that we will have discussion that will be courteous and that will be professional, and I appreciate all of you for that this evening as well. There have been times when we've had subjects that come before us that can be quite contentious, and this is one of them. It could be very easy to be angry and to pick a side and hold your stance. And so I appreciate the opportunity for us to have a debate and a discussion and really consider all of the facts that are coming before us. This time of year, our local businesses need us more than ever. With COVID, with the challenges that are facing our country and facing our region, the support of local business is more important than ever. And so I encourage you, regardless of what happens in this meeting tonight, please support local businesses. If it happens that the vote comes out that there is a mask mandate for this town, please do not boycott Tifton businesses. The decision for that mandate will be amongst the five of us, whether it's what you want or it's not what you want. Do not take that out, or I would encourage you not to take that out on local business. Local business is doing all they can to keep their doors open, to pay their employees, to make sure that they have food on the table, to make sure that their kids have Christmas gifts under the Christmas tree. Don't boycott this community for something that these five people here decide. I don't know how this is going to come out. I'm fixing to open the floor up for these fine gentlemen to have discussion. I know that they will take all of your comments and all of your consideration and all of the information that you've shared with us into consideration on how we need to move forward for this community. But I would just ask you, as the mayor of this town, support this town in every way that you can. That's how we'll get through this. We won't get through this by businesses closing their door, by people boycotting this community, by people running into a rabbit hole and saying, I'm not coming out because I don't like what that council did, and I'm going to take it out on Justin Golden, and I'm not going to support his businesses, or Hal Baxley's business, or our folks here with the custom auto. That's not the right way to be. And Tifton, you're better than that, and we are better than that. So that being said, I know we've had a lot of information, so I'll open it up to the council to begin discussion.
Mayor, I'd like to make a few, if
Sure.
I can. Several things. First, I think a little clarification on the charter and what it says about the order. I think you can have you can bring up an ordinance and vote on it at the same time if it's an emergency situation. But you have to put that language within the ordinance. So we were right in those, and I made the motion because it was an emergency, and I still think it's an emergency. So the charter gives us that ability. And we also have the authority to do what we did. The governor has given us the authority to implement a mask mandate. I've seen lots of things that say, oh, can't do it, governor said can't do it. That's not true. Governor says if we have cases of 100 per 100,000, we can, over the prior 2 weeks, we can do this. Ours they just dropped a tad below 600. They've been at 674. And then I also saw, well, wait a minute, it's Tift County's counting all these cases from the surrounding counties. Well, my understanding from the Department of Public Health is that these are it's where your residency is. But even if it's not, Turner's at 632, Irwin's at 721, Cook's at 562. The other two are just below 500, so nobody's close to the 100. Was on a major responsibility, as far as I'm concerned, of the council is to protect its citizens. That's why we're doing this. You know, we talk about how much money do we give to the police department to hire more officers? It's to protect the citizens. How much do we give for the fire department? To protect the citizens. Well, health, just why the reason the governor put out the executive order was around health, declaring it a health emergency. Okay, so it's clear it's an emergency. I was on a call Thursday with GMA, the Georgia Municipal Association, and we had Dr. Carlos Del Rio on there, renowned doctor from Emory. It was clear from him, masks work. I mean, and I can appreciate those that said it, but the large majority, way large majority of doctors, scientists, health organizations say masks work. Masks protect the other person. So when I hear, oh, well, all these people wore masks all day and they never had it, and they got COVID, it's because they were around people that didn't wear a mask. That's why they got it, okay? Larry Hansen made it, he's the executive director of GMA, and he made an interesting comment. He said 80% of the Georgia cities are 5,000 people or less. The deaths so far in Georgia equate to almost 2 of those cities. So which 2 cities would we wipe out? Because both of them completely dead, 10,000 people. 2 full cities that belong to GMA. That's outrageous. Outrageous that we would do nothing. There is a large group, and I appreciate Justin, there is a large group of people, and I've heard from them, we heard from them on these emails, that will not go out today because the people aren't wearing masks. Yes, they might run in Walmart between 7 and 8 or in that designated time when there aren't any people there. A mask mandate makes it safe for everybody. So if there is anybody, you know, that is the culprit here, it's those that will not wear a mask that's putting other people at risk. If everybody wears a mask, everybody will come to your store. That's all we're asking. Make it safe. We talk about suicide rates. We talk about all this. Well, you know who it's higher? We're not talking about a shutdown. We're talking about a group of people that, for their own health and safety, don't feel comfortable going out. So they're stuck at home. And so what's the response that I saw some of these emails? If you're afraid, stay home. What does that do for every business around Tifton? Stay home? Is that what we really want? Because let me tell you, there's a big group that is staying home today because there are no masks. And, I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, there's various other things that we might not, seat belts, smoking. You can't just, this thing of what's our rights, well, you can't go in a store and smoke. No shoes, no shirt, no shoes, no service. Has that taken away somebody's right because you have to wear a pair of shoes in a store? I mean, seriously? And not wearing shoes isn't going to kill somebody potentially. But I don't see any uproar over, well, I got to have shoes to go in there, and therefore I'm going to boycott that store because I have to have shoes. I mean, think about it. Is it too much to ask to take a chance for these that say that masks don't work, even though all the medical experts say they work and protect others? Can we not take a chance? I know somebody asked, well, the ordinance went on forever. I'd be willing, when it comes up, put 30 days on it. Can we look at it and see, give it a shot? What do you have to lose, to quote somebody from a few years ago, to try this? I mean, it affects you that badly that you can't think about somebody else and say, well, I'm going to at least try this for 30 days and see if maybe we can bring these cases down. This isn't an ordinance that's going to last forever. I mean, it's just not. I mean, Wes's Bank, before they shut the lobby, now they've shut the lobby. There's other, you had to wear a mask to go in there. Wes was protected because every customer that came in there, Wes was protected. What about employees of these other stores where they don't have to wear a mask? That's who's at risk. That's who's at risk. Who's going to protect them? Wes's bosses protected him. Well, we should protect the others as well. Others don't have the privilege of let's lock the lobby down. So Wes,
I have not heard anybody say we don't want to wear a mask. I think what the concern is the mandate.
Well, I appreciate that, Mayor, but they aren't wearing the mask. A lot of people didn't want to wear a seatbelt, but there's a law now that says you have to wear a seatbelt. So, give me another couple of minutes, and then but.
Mayor, you limited our time. One minute, he's been ranting and raving for the last whatever minute.
Well,
we'll get our shot. We're going to get our.
We're all going to, everybody will have the opportunity.
I'll finish my rant and rave here in just a minute.
Go ahead and finish it up so we can get on with our business.
Yeah, I'll just let that sit. But this thing of a boycott, you're going to boycott a business because you have to wear a mask and protect other people. I don't understand the thinking. You can believe it if you want to, but you believe it or not. Listen to the medical expert. Masks work. They protect other people. If you can justify it in your mind that they don't, so be it. But with that, Mayor, I'll end my rant and rave.
Okay. Thank you.
So.
All right.
Well, Mayor, I feel like I need to respond since he
I called you out, Wes.
called me
I
and
wouldn't-
my place of business out. One thing that we've heard pretty much through all of tonight's comments, and you can read them within the comments that were made to the city and on their Facebook pages and everything else, is the self-governing aspect of this. Colony Bank made the self-governing determination to ask all of its customers to wear its masks, and we also made the self-governing decision to close our lobbies. That is a right underneath what us as business owners have the right to do, thus why we did that. It wasn't a mandate by the city council. You make the comment of there's a big group of people who go out and about who are only going to shop at these places that require masks. Well, when you go to these places, these people are going to look at the door and they're going to try to find them sign. If they do sign a sign, they're going to make a self-governing decision that I'm going to use my funds in this capacity with this business. Or I'm going to self-govern myself not to visit the places that do have the opt-out notice in there. Again, these people are exercising the governing principle. And that's what I talked about the other day when we discussed this ordinance, is that I think people will self-govern themselves accordingly. I went to Walmart the other day, and Walmart's always the first place that gets brought up about, oh, there's people all over the place without masks. I would say that 80% of the people that were in there had masks on, and if you were over the age of 65, I would say that percentage was dang near around 90%. So the people are doing it. They will exercise their self-governing principles. If they want to wear a mask, they will wear a mask. If they don't want to wear a mask, that is their choice as to do so. So one thing that I would like for council to consider tonight is a resolution instead of a ordinance or a mandate. This resolution is not a law, but it's a council supporting something more formally and something strongly, and that I think that all members of this council can agree on, that we do care about every citizen and every visitor that comes into this community. We do care for the health of those people. And this resolution would go towards making those statements. We can join the county in their public relations campaign. They started one this week. I'm sure that most of y'all got the text message. We can help with that. We have CARES money. We can put that to the side, and we can use that money to inform the public and educate the public. Hey, listen, we're at a time right now that masks may be worn. We require you to we actually ask that you self-govern yourself accordingly whenever you're out in public. You know, make those type of educational points. And then, you know, it also, at the end of the day, it removes this ridiculous penalty that people are having, that people might have to pay. And let's be honest right now, there's a lot of people that don't have $25 or $50. And you know what? We don't have the resources. Chief, I want your resources towards the murderers and towards the people breaking into the vehicles. I don't give a crap about somebody not wearing a dadgum sign, but I do care about somebody killing and somebody breaking into my vehicle. So, you know, we don't have the resources to put this thing into place. And that's something that I think should be thought about very heavily. And at the end of the day, I just think, Jack, you know, the self-governing and educating of the people of Tifton, these are smart people in this community. They're not dumb enough. They're not dumb that you have to force them to do something against their will.
Hold on.
Dictators mandate, the government, the democracy of the United States, you do not.
I never called anybody dumb, so let's be clear.
I'm not saying
you made that I made that, and there was no way that I'm clearly infer that somebody was dumb.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
just for the record.
Duly noted. Johnny, do you have any comments? I want to make sure that, and MJ, I don't know which one of you gentlemen would like to go first. Johnny, do you have any comments that you'd like to add to this? MJ, you want to go ahead and go first? If you may not have any.
Johnny, go ahead.
Okay, Johnny, he's asking you to speak first.
Well, I think a mandate would be good for this, but I don't think we should just rush it. You know, if people want to wear a mask, they're going to wear it.
Right.
If they don't want to wear it, they don't want to wear it. I don't think we should take it out on our local businesses to boycott a business because a person either wear or don't wear a mask. That's wrong. But now, if you look at, go by the hospital, see all these people that's lined up in the hallways. That all puts up on your mind. That all tell you something. This thing is not over. Now, I can't go out, I ain't trying to go out and say that go out and put on a mask. That's your business. But I'm saying, if you around me, you need to wear one, because I'm going to wear one around you. When I go out in public, I put on a mask. But I'm at my house, I don't put on a mask. And I think people should just consider the same thing. When you out in public, wear a mask. If you home, you ain't got to. But just consider the other person, the people that you're going to be around. Consider them. Your grandmama, your children. Just consider other people. Be considerate of other people. That's my thing on that.
Okay.
I ain't trying to say we got to go out and make y'all do it.
Okay.
That's just me.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. All right, MJ, any comments you'd like to share or You don't have to, I just wanted everyone to have the
no,
opportunity
I
to
don't have any
speak.
comments on it.
Okay. All right, well, I think everyone's kind of said, and thank you, Wes, for bringing up what the county has done. I think that, I know that Tony, am I making a fair statement? And I may be putting you on the spot a little bit. I don't believe that the county intends to do any type of official mandate, but instead will be working diligently to sort of re-educate and remind the public how important it is to do all of the CDC guidelines. And then, like Wes said, we all got the call. And if you are out there and you have not signed up with the Everbridge alert system, please go to, is it everbridge.com, Tony, is that correct? And you can put in your cell number, your email address, your home number, and you can get those alerts. Usually they're used for things like a hurricane, if there's a weather situation or something. In this case, we got alerts this afternoon just saying, reminding people, the message was kind of catchy, it was don't spread joy, not COVID. So, Tony, was that a fair statement as you understand it?
Well, of course, I can't speak for the full board, but I don't.
Right.
I don't sense an appetite.
Right, okay. But I do think we do have a little bit of CARES Act funding that is still in our coffers, and that money is to be used specifically for COVID-related activities. So to have billboards or to have newspaper ads or, on our government channel, we can, we have a little bit of money. You were pointing at someone?
Go ahead, I'm
Oh, okay. I thought you were pointing somebody back there. So MJ, I'll call on you now to share any comments.
I want to take a brief, kind of address the whole city right now. Last time we were talking about the mask ordinance. I got kind of, I feel heavy about it and passionate about it. We all got family members and everything. I said some things about it, and some of the things that we're still probably going to do as well. And I might have used the wrong words, but I don't want to take away from anything that the city has tried to do with these at these times. So I just want to say I'm sorry to everybody in the city of Tifton for those words as well. But I also want to address some of the people that here, and I respect everything you say. We all gonna have different visions, whether I'm sitting here or you guys are sitting there, or if I was sitting out there and you were sitting here. It's gonna be flip-flop, whichever way it goes. But personally, I do have a business, so both of my business, two of my businesses definitely, they have tanked. My event space, I might have had one party since March. One. I usually roll in about 3 events a month. My valet service, I've had one service since March. So just as you talk about a business, I've got one too. I felt it just like anybody else in here. And I respect yours. And the thing about me is, I'm gonna come see your business with my mask on, mandate or not. I go to Espresso all the time, anything. Mr. Baxley, if you got one, I'm coming to see you. It don't matter how I'm gonna vote, because I'm still gonna see you, I'm still gonna respect you. You might be mad at me about my vote, but I'm never gonna be mad at you about your feelings and how you feel, and your constitutional rights and all that. Because at the end of the day, we're all Americans, we're all in here right now. And that's why we're free, because we got a way to say yes and we got a way to say no. So tonight, whichever way it goes, if it's a mandate or not, at the end of the day, guess what? You said you're still gonna do what you're supposed to do if you don't wear it. And if it's a mandate, we're still gonna do what we do if we have to wear it. And we're still gonna help the city of Tifton. And I'm still gonna help all these businesses that says that people are boycotting. Well, if they're not coming, I'm coming. And it is a group of people that's sitting at home. My grandmama hadn't walked out the house since March. And I guarantee you, and I know she does, spend some money at some of these businesses. But it's not, this mask mandate, this coronavirus, yes, it's gonna go away. But at the end of the day, we're gonna save some lives, We're gonna be still the friendly city, mask mandate or not. I'm still gonna love you and your business on how you vote or how you feel and how I feel. And I mean that. I love the city of Tifton. And I just don't know which other way to put it. If you were sitting here and told me I had to wear one, I'm not gonna make a hissy fit about it. Because I know at the end of the day, I'm gonna be doing my due diligence to save a life. The real stats are, the hospital is on diversion, and people are going other places. Me, how would I feel if you were sitting here and we didn't relay the emergency situations that was going on in our city? Or we didn't try to act on it in some form or fashion? Yes, we're still gonna use our CARES Act money. Yeah, we're gonna do some PR for the city and do what we need to do to make awareness. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And if it's a mask mandate, we'll do that too. And then once we get over this, we're gonna take our mask off when this COVID-19's over and say, Tifton, the city of Tifton, they did what they needed to do, mask mandate or not. So we all can huff and puff, and we can get mad because we got our rights and we don't. But at the end of the day, we are the city of Tifton. And yes, I am an elected official, and I know I'm here, and I would feel definitely wrong if I didn't help or feel like I was addressing to save some lives in Tifton. I wouldn't dare want a family member of mine being diverted to wherever with coronavirus, and I can't even go or at least make a simple call to somebody close by to say, how is he or she doing? That I actually knew. The thing is, we got to learn about compassion and love. Quit thinking about division. That's what we got to do. So you can hate me or not, but I'm still going to spend money with you, and I'm still going to wave at you, or whatever it's going to be. But we're going to save a life so I can wave at you. I've got asthma, but I wear this thing all day. I've had asthma. I keep my pump on me 24/7. 24/7. All I know is, once we get through this thing, we need to learn in 2021 for the city of Tifton to show a little bit more compassion and love for others, and continue to support each and every business no matter what they choose to do. Whatever sign you got on your door, if you choose to put a sign on your door, that's fine. But I'm still gonna support you no matter what you decide to do. I'm gonna put my mask on and I'm gonna support you. And that's what I'm gonna do. I've never seen color, I've never seen race, I've never seen blue or red. All I know is love for the people. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have that. So,
Thank you,
whatever we do.
MJ. Thank you for those comments.
Mayor, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
Same motion I had last week with the mask mandate with a couple of exceptions. One, we put a 30-day time limit on it. And two, for that 30 days, we try to make it where, I won't say voluntary, but it's still going to be a law, but I will eliminate the sentences that have the fines in there to see if for the 30 days, we can reduce these cases from, they're right now at 600 or so, and if we can reduce them in half, I'd be willing to then say, okay, everybody's got it under control, let's go. Even though the governor says 100, but if we can cut these things from 600 to 300, and the hospital could probably very well not be on diversion, then why wouldn't we try that? Because all this group of people that's out there that's not coming now will come out to shop because they will feel safe. And you can joke about them and say faith over fear and all these things that I've said, and you can discount how they feel, but it's real to them, and their life is real to them, and this will make a difference to them and should do nothing but help businesses because it's life and death to them. Well, it's life and death to these people that don't want to go where these others. So the problem are the people that don't want to wear the mask. It's not the people that feel like for their own safety they need to wear it. So with that being said, I make that motion.
You made that motion. So we have,
First state that motion, I got that it was a motion to accept the ordinance, and be in effect for 30 days and to remove the fines.
That's,
This only? Okay.
yeah, cut out the other rant and rave part, Jessica.
Cut out the what now?
That's
in the governor's ordinance, you can still do that.
it's in the governor's order. It's the motion we had, but it's the one we had before. But no, it's 30 days time limit and no fines to see if we can get this thing under control.
So so if there was someone not wearing a face mask, they would be given a warning,
What now?
correct? They would be given a warning to, and then.
Yeah, no monetary fine. We're not gonna,
okay, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Okay.
All right, is there any further discussion?
Yeah, I would like to discuss something with that, Jack, that motion. If you eliminate the penalty and put it on for 30 days, it does essentially what I'm asking us to do in a resolution. It's a strong support of mask wearing and education that we can do for 30 days. And if something doesn't come around, we can approach this or whatever. But what you're suggesting is a mandate for no penalty is essentially the resolution that I suggested that we support. So I would like to amend your motion to make it a resolution that the city of Tifton strongly supports CDC guidelines and education as the primary means to eradicating COVID-19.
the difference, Wes, is a law is a law.
We need to get a second on that before we discuss.
Well,
Because I amended his original motion.
what I'm hearing here, Wes, is that rather than having a ordinance,
Yes,
you would prefer a resolution.
yes.
So I think that if you want to make a motion to amend the main motion on the Jack's proposal, then I don't know that you suggesting a resolution really fits into that amending the main motion.
I was amending, instead of an ordinance, I'm amending it to be a resolution, not an ordinance.
That's an unusual
Well, that's right,
request.
because an ordinance is a law from what you've told me.
And that's the difference,
A
Wes.
resolution is not. Thus, what is the penalty? If there's no penalty, then we are in strong support of mass.
Because some people will follow the law, and because it's a law,
So the
they
people
will
who
abide,
don't
they
follow
will
the law
abide
are
by,
what?
they will abide by
I think we've heard,
a law.
I think we've heard from the community that the community respects and acknowledges wearing a mask makes a difference. It's the right thing to do. It's right. But I have to agree with Wes, I cannot support a mandate. It's the mandate by the council to require, whether there's, and it's a double-edged sword. If we say, you mandated it, if I mandated to drive 70 miles an hour down the interstate, and if I drive 100 miles an hour down the interstate, there's no penalty whatsoever.
I'll put the penalty back in there if that's, if you think
No,
that's
I'm
gonna make a
just saying
difference. I was trying to do it.
No, but it's pointless. I think the resolution is the resolution is the support of the community to wear the mask and encouraging our citizens to self-govern. I think the less government we have in local government, the better. It's hard enough to deal with state and federal regulations, and we don't need a mandate to do the right thing. We
If we
don't.
needed a mandate, didn't need one, then everybody would be wearing a mask in the first place. And we would do something.
We have got to support our businesses. We have got.
And that is a support.
All right, well.
There are a lot of people, I realize y'all might go in every one of them, but there's a lot of people that have contacted me, and the
But
majority
they
sent in to the city that were in favor of a mandate, because they will not go out.
That's their choice. If we mandate this, we will remove choice.
It's their
that's what
choice
I have
because
an issue
it's life and death. So are we gonna
Jack.
support health or not?
It is doing the right thing. So I'm
It's
gonna call-
protecting
so what-
lives,
So what
is
you're
what it
saying is I
is.
need to call for the vote on this, or he can or cannot amend that? I want to get back to.
I think what Wes wants to do is amend the motion on this ordinance to reclassify it as a resolution.
That's correct.
Okay. So that would be the amended motion that's now on the table to
Amended
reclassify this ordinance as a resolution in lieu of
in
an
lieu of
ordinance.
And that is, except now all he needs is a second. Is that what you're saying?
You need a second on that.
Okay, I will second. I can't make a motion in my role, but I can second. So I will second your motion to change it from an ordinance mandate to a resolution of support.
Are we keeping the same stipulation for the first motion? That's just the only additional stipulation?
No, the issue or the motion that I made was to accept the resolution that the city of Tifton strongly supports CDC guidelines in education as the primary means to eradicating COVID-19. I'll give you this, I wrote it down for you so I can.
Okay.
But, I'm sorry, y'all, but, with Jack's motion on the proposed ordinance, as he proposed to amend it to a 30-day, and then to take away the penalty.
Just a warning, a citation, a warning.
Right, and so,
No, I'm keeping in mind to what the governor says, is that it's got to be under 100 per 100,000. So this resolution, which is not a law, but I mean, it would stay in effect until those numbers are met. We will continue to educate, and we will continue to support the CDC guidelines until that number is met, is what my,
all right. If you,
maybe I should have called you and you could have popped me up in an ordinance real quick or a resolution real quick.
right, I see it's hard procedurally when you're amending Jack's motion to convert this to a resolution. But I'm not clear, Wes. I understand the statement that you read as far as what you'd like to see in the resolution.
That's right.
And in addition to that statement that you'd like to see in the resolution,
There is no timeline. The
Okay.
timeline, there's no 30 days for this. What I'm saying is that we will continue to educate the community through our CARES money. We will continue to support CDC guidelines through mass PR campaign until COVID cases reach 100 per 100,000. That's what the limit is for
That's what the executive order says.
executive order. All right, so that takes care of the timeline. And obviously, a resolution is not an ordinance, so there's no penalty involved. So that eliminates that part of it, too.
so your resolution that you're proposing in lieu of the ordinance that Jack's proposing just is going to state what you just stated?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And I seconded that.
okay.
So, are we good on procedure and
Yes, and now-
Robert's rules and all of the?
Now we have the discussion on the resolution that Wes is proposing in lieu of the ordinance that Jack
So
has.
I will
made a
ask
motion.
if there's any, so we have the amended motion and second. Is there any discussion on the amended motion and second?
What is the resolution on, what is the resolution gonna say in entirety?
In its entirety, it will make the comment, what I said, the City of Tifton Council strongly supports CDC guidelines of education as the primary means to eradicating COVID-19. The length of the resolution will be until cases will be down to 100 per 100,000. We will continue to educate the community until that number is met, and then there's no penalty involved. Businesses don't have to make that decision to put in an opt-in or an opt-out notice. I don't think that's fair. I don't think
Signs
it's fair
can
for
come off,
anybody.
the signs can come off the doors.
So signs can come off the door, people can
and
go
each
in.
business
Now, if
can
your
govern
business
this.
says, hey, I'm gonna need you to put on a mask, hey, again, that's an opportunity for that person. If they don't wanna wear a mask, say, you know what, I'm not gonna spend money in that place. I'm gonna go spend some money somewhere else. But they don't have to be identified, you know. So that's the purpose of this amendment.
All right, so we got the motion, we got the second, we're in discussion on that.
Any other comments?
Johnny?
Johnny, you understand what Wes is proposing with the resolution?
The resolution instead of
an ordinance, instead of the mandate? Johnny?
Johnny.
Johnny, are you there?
Johnny. I don't know if you're here tonight.
I don't know either.
Johnny, can you hear us?
All right, you calling?
Well,
All right, we'll give him a minute.
do what now?
It's not, it's still,
I don't know.
I'll let you look at it first. I can hear the TV in the background.
Is it got on mute?
Johnny, if your phone's on mute, you need to unmute. I know we need to conduct the meeting. Any suggestions? When we have a vote. Call for the vote, I assume.
Is there any way, is he on his house phone, do you know?
I think he's on his. I think he's on his city cell phone.
It is, what he's talking on there.
Can we call his house?
I think that's what Pete's trying to reach him.
We need to call you back now, okay? All right, stand by.
Bear with us. Technical difficulties here. Okay. Johnny, I don't know where we lost you, but I wanted to, do you understand what we're fixing to vote on? Jack had made a motion to instate the mandate, but removed, limited it to 30 days. Help me, Jack, if I miss it. Limited it to 30 days and removed any penalties. You basically would just get a warning. MJ seconded that motion, and then Wes amended that motion to change it from a mandate ordinance to a resolution strongly supporting the CDC guidelines, continuing with education of the community, reminding people to wear masks and social distance, all of those things. So it would be a resolution, not a mandate. So that's what we're getting ready to vote on. I just want to make sure you're clear on what we're fixing to vote on, because I'm not sure where we lost you.
Okay.
You got it?
So Johnny, let me read you my motion, just so that you understand what I'm saying here, because we lost you earlier. Is to make the motion to accept a resolution instead of an ordinance that the city of Tiffany strongly supports CDC guidelines and education as the primary means to eradicating COVID-19, and that the resolution will remain in effect until COVID cases in our community are reduced to 100 per 100,000 cases. So we will continue to educate and promote the CDC guidelines until that time is met. That's what's on the table to vote for.
Got it?
Okay.
Okay. All right, any further discussion before I call for the vote?
There's just, so we are voting on Wes's proposed motion to amend Jack's motion to provide for the resolution that he just read.
Exactly.
In lieu of the ordinance.
Exactly. Okay, so all of those who are in favor of the amended motion for the resolution, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those who are opposed?
No.
No.
Johnny, did you vote?
No.
You voted no? Do you want, are you saying you voted no, you're voting no?
I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, you voted no.
Okay.
This thing keeps going in and out.
Okay.
You like to call for the vote for the mandate, or call for the vote for the resolution?
No, I'm calling for the vote for the resolution, not the mandate. Wes amended the motion for the mandate. Jack had made a motion for the mandate. MJ seconded, and then Wes amended the motion for, and changed it from a mandate to a resolution, which I seconded, and that's what we're voting on now. So right now, I've called for the vote. Wes and I are in favor of that resolution. Jack and MJ have voted no, and I did not hear you vote. So my question is, do you support the resolution or not?
No.
You do not support the resolution?
No.
Okay. Okay.
All right, that puts the main motion back.
Motion's back on the table.
Okay. So we're back to, hey, can you hear me? Johnny? Johnny? Johnny, are you there? Johnny, can you hear me?
Technology's great.
Can we try it, just using a cell phone? Maybe it's the problem with the speakerphone.
Yeah,
You can do it. Let's hang this up.
you have it, and just put the microphone, and close it, you can hear.
Johnny, I don't know if you can hear me, but we're gonna hang up this phone and call you on just my cell phone.
Hello, Diane. Hey, is Johnny right there?
Rob, I don't know, Robert's Rules of Order, and I don't know protocol, but this is a shame. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely an embarrassment to this community and this council. And I don't know how to carry forward.
All right, Johnny, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right, so did you vote no for the resolution? Are you supporting the resolution?
I voted no I voted yes on the mandate, and no on the resolution.
Okay, so you want the mandate, because that's what we're coming back to. Okay, okay, all right, so we, to officially enter into record then, the next, it goes back to Jack's original motion.
Correct.
And I will call for the vote on that original motion. So all those in favor of the mandate, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Did you
still doing 30 days, and is that still?
30 days is in an effort to, I mean, Wes and I had talked, he would talk about if we didn't have the financial penalty, let's give it 30 days. You know, there is a citation, it is a law, it is a warning, and save a life. So yes, trying that, MJ, for 30 days. If it continues going up, we might put the fines back in.
Oh, that's good.
Well,
That's awesome.
if it's going the wrong way and you have to do something.
Okay, all right, so, one of the things that I do want to do before, we leave this meeting tonight is we're gonna fix this. I don't know, we may just not have call in anymore, because this is ridiculous.
Well, Mayor, I was looking at the ordinance, trying to, certainly we can change the end of it to 30 days.
Okay.
And then the section regarding the enforcement, they're just, we have to take out a couple of paragraphs and just put it to a warning.
Okay. All right, so we have the motion on the floor. I've called for the vote of Jack's motion for the mandate. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Nay. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
All right, so we have,
All right, so we have,
financial report.
going back to the agenda, we have financial report. Dana? Is that what this, the general fund, this right here? Okay,
Thank you, Dana.
thank you.
I'll be short and sweet. This is the financial report for the month of November. June fund is really looking better. We have collected this month $2 million in property tax money in December. So we're almost at our budgeted amount. But at the end of November, we were at 31%. So when we do this month's reports, they'll be higher. And the water fund is doing great. The revenue is at 46%, and the expenditures are at 24%. And sewer fund's almost the same. And the gas fund is, we've collected 30% of those budget funds and have spent 27%. And the landfill, we've collected 43% in revenue, and we've only spent 30% as of the end of November. Okay. And the next one is going to be your hotel motel form. Our revenue did increase when we collect in the month of November, we actually were collecting October's sales. So the first sheet shows what the city here collected, our portion of the hotel motel fees. Or tax, really. Then the second page is showing the new 2%, when we increased from 5% to the 7%, we had 1% set aside for promotional marketing. This is our first collections at $14,000. And on the last page, we have just the total overall what we collected, which was $104,000, which is the highest it's been in a while. So overall, things are looking good. I think we're in a good spot. If everything keeps increasing, we'll be good. This is,
Are there any questions of the financial report? Very thorough, thank you, Dana.
Okay.
Thank you for a great job.
Thank you, Dana.
All right, that requires no action, that's just a report. And now we are down to city manager report and mayor and council comments. So Pete?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First item, you seeing some items on social media and some advertisement. Residential cans are being delivered by Ryland Environmental. They are red and blue. Red is for garbage, blue is for recycling, and we'll be doing this in certain pockets. And Kirsten is working with them to make sure that we're communicating outward. So if residents see residential cans, please move them to your home, and please do not use them until January 1st. That's very, very important. So please don't put garbage in them. And again, we'll try to inform the public just as much as we can here as we move through the next couple of weeks.
I got a lot of calls over the weekend, so I went out and talked to the gentlemen who were putting the cans out, who were very, very courteous and very nice. People think that because they were put at their mailbox, they have to stay at their mailbox. But they explained to me that each can has a serial number that's assigned to your address. And the only way that they can tell what your address is to check your mailbox and put them at your mailbox. So, for example, in the historic district, we have alleys that run through that, and that's where most of our cans are picked up. So people were confused that they couldn't put them back at the alley. So if we could make sure, they said once they assign them to your address, and they confirm that, which is why they put them at your mailbox, then you move them around to wherever you have your normal pickup or wherever you keep them. So, Kirsten, if we could just work and make sure that people understand that just because they were put there was only to assign to an address, nothing else, and then they put them where they need to go.
Good, thank you. We will do that. We mentioned car break-ins tonight, and I'm happy to announce the police department, we have made 6 arrests.
Oh, wow.
For break-ins. So we're trying to put the clamp down on that. The chief and his staff are working hard on that. Again, reiterating to our community, keep it locked, and please keep your guns out of your vehicles. If you're not going to do anything, please just do that. It'll make it a whole lot easier. So we're just asking for cooperation on that, but we are making some progress on that. Lastly, I wanted to wish city employees and ESG and each of you Merry Christmas and happy holidays, and thanks to our great employees on what they do and when they do, and especially what we're dealing with today. And there's a bag at each of your stations tonight, so that is from the city, but that's how I'm going to end my report for the year. And thank you for your continued support. But on behalf of the employees and what we do, thank you and what you do. Because it has not been an easy year. So I wanted to reemphasize city employees and ESG on how much we honor them and what they do for us each and every day. So I'll end with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pete. MJ, we'll start down at your end of the table.
Nothing, a lot of emotion tonight. And I think all the emotion is going to, at the end of the day, it's going to bring us together. We're going to end this year off strong, and I wish everybody with the city of Tifton and everybody in the city of Tifton a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. We're just going to continue working together no matter what. Like I say, compassion and love, and we're going to be all right. So, like I say, get home, nuzzle in with your family and the loved ones you can be around, and just thank somebody that you're still here today. And hopefully we'll see you guys next year, okay?
All right, thank you, MJ. Wes?
So yeah, a lot of a lot of conversation, a lot of emotion today. Just want to let you guys know that, no matter how you voted, we got a lot of things to do. We got 2021 that's approaching us. We have a lot of work to do within our community, and we need to, it's done. We need to move forward and go from there. I do want to wish the city employees and the city of Tifton and Tifton and all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Pretty much it.
Okay, Jack?
Just the same kind of thing. The votes aren't always unanimous. We had a similar situation with garbage last time, and sometimes you're on the short end, sometimes you're on the other end. I probably have said all I've said. Safety's always been my thing, and people's lives are the most important thing to me. That drives it. But that being said, I wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. That's why we say Happy Holidays, to cover all the
All of the above.
all the above, and a Happy New Year, and let's hope that 2021, after some period of time, gets us back to some kind of new normal, whatever that might be.
Okay. I'll comment very briefly, and then following my comments, I will need to take a motion and go into executive session for legal purposes. Again, I just want to remind the community, please don't boycott these local businesses in this town. The decision that was made today was made by this council, and as everyone has said, we will move forward and do the best that we can. But boycotting businesses because of an action of a council is not in the best interest of this community. So please support our local business, continue to do that, look out for each other. And I'd like to just congratulate our outgoing County Commission Chairman, Grady Thompson. Grady has served 16 years on the County Commission, and all of those 16 years as the County Commission Chair. And that's an admirable time of service to a community. Grady and I haven't always agreed on things, but I can always say that I've respected Grady and appreciate his service. So I want to congratulate him on those years of service and welcome the incoming chairman, Tony McBrayer, and look very forward to working with Tony and doing what's right for this community and uniting this community and bringing this community together in ways that will benefit each and every one of you. So that's my comments, and I will need a motion to go into executive session for legal purposes.
So moved.
All right, thank you. Give you a second, MJ. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we'll take about a 2-minute break, and then we will